Hello. Today I'd like to go over the basics of Onshape and what Onshape can do for us. Onshape is actually a very robust, powerful piece of software. It's all online based, so you don't have to have a big CAD station to be able to use this piece of software. This is a totally online software. It backs up, it saves automatically. But the problem with using the public one is your data is shared. So if you don't want your data shared, then you have to buy the professional version. But for everyone else, it's just fine to have things public. I don't have any patents on this, on my designs here, so it's fine to allow the public to see what I'm doing. And it's kind of neat what you can do with the looking through the public models and stuff like that. You can actually kind of dissect and work backwards and figure out how they did things. So that's pretty neat. So let's get started here. All right, so here is Onshape. Okay, we have actually already signed in, and I am going to create a brand new tab here. So we're going to create a part studio. Okay, so part studio. Here we have three planes. Okay, so we have front, right, and top. Here we have the cube over here on the right hand side. You can barely see me touching it, but I can hit the front and it will flip to the front. And if I use my right mouse button, hold down, I can actually click and hold and it will it can rotate this item, all these planes. If I hit the middle mouse button, so this guy right here, I can actually do a pan, so that allows me to pan. And if I rotate, if I want to, zoom in and out, I would use the mouse button to zoom in and out. Okay, so everything can be done with the mouse, the rotations and stuff like that. So let's get started on identifying what certain objects are. I'm just going to go over kind of the major items that are used with Onshape, especially for a beginner. So we will go over sketches, extrude, revolve, sweep, loft, thicken. So first of all, we will always start with a sketch. So on this, I will choose my front surface and start the sketch. So I'm just going to build something very basic. Okay, so actually I just clicked out of it accidentally, so I just double click this guy and it throws me back into my sketch. This dialog box is open. That means my sketch is active. Okay, so now if I want to get this view on flat to there, I hit this little front up here. See my right here. I'll click that, and now I'm front and centered. Okay, so now a new box is opened up, and I can see many different things inside of here. So let's kind of walk through what each one does. So right now we have a line. So if we want to just create a line, we can have it sticks to itself, so it sticks to its previous one, and we could build a simple box, or we could build, we could go past it, and then if we want to end this box, we would right click and hit confirm sketch. We would right click and escape out of the sketch. So it just knocked me out of it. So I can just double click, get back into it. Okay. And of course this will happen to you frequently. So once you learn, it's fairly easy. Okay. So next we have line, midpoints. Then we have a corner rectangle, so we can create a rectangle. There's a few different ways that we can create rectangles in the software. One is a corner rectangle and one is center point rectangle. So if we want a center point, so it's going to build from the center point, so we can build from here. And right now, just to tell you, we are working in millimeters. I like to work in millimeters because that's a lot of the Japanese and Europeans use millimeters, and it's easy to decipher. 10 millimeters, 10 centimeters. You just multiply it. It's fairly easy to do. So I'll stay in millimeters for this. All right, so we got the third one is a aligned rectangle. So let's say we click here, and then so we can create an aligned rectangle. So those are the different types of rectangles that we can do. Okay, and if we want to start creating some sizes on these rectangles, we can go over here to this dimension here, or we click the key D, Okay, let's just do this right here, and now we can choose sizes of this. So if we want to change this to 50 millimeters, and if we want to change this to 35 millimeters, okay, we can change this one to 40. Nice round numbers here to here, 40. So we get a nice perfect square, pretty much. Okay, and notice how these are black. So as they turn black, that means they are constrained. Constrained means that if you grab this corner right here, it won't move. It's kind of stuck, okay? If you grab this corner, which has no constraints, or this line, let's see. Why is it not allowing me to click? Okay, it doesn't want to. Oh, maybe, okay. 50. Let's figure out. It should let me grab this there. Okay, I'm not sure why it wasn't let me, but it should let me. This is not a black line, so I'm allowed to grab it. And yeah, there we go. So I'm not sure what it was doing before. Maybe it was doing something on the back end. But yeah, I can grab this. It's not black. It's not controlled. This is controlled. So if I grab that one, most likely that one is going to move with it. So click, hold, drag, click, hold. Okay, so it's not going to do it. How about this guy? All right, he just automatically updates. So it tells you that, oh, and if you see it red, that means it's over constrained. So let me do an over constraint item. So I'm going to put another dimension on here, and I'm going to say this is 45. And now it's confused because now you have two constraints. Even if these were identical, it would still say it's confused because it's got too many constraints, because this is a horizontal line. So we can get rid of this guy, and it should go back to black. Okay, so that shows you the rectangles and boxes. So let's go to circle now. So we want to create a circle. We have three different types of circles that we can make. We have a center point circle. So wherever you want to start your circle, you start from the center point and go out. Okay. Then we have your second one is a 3-point circle. So I got 1, 2, 3. It makes a circle that size. And one thing with circle is you can always go to your dimension and you can say this circle is 25 millimeters around. Okay. And then the same thing here. We can put a dimension and say it's 50 or so. Okay. And then the last one was the ellipse. The ellipse will give you your height and then your width, so you can change that, and that's modifiable too with your dimension here. Let's see. Okay, so it did the width to say this is 20, and the height of it should give me a height here. There, no, okay. Go again. How about just pull it off the side and get you that? So you get your height there. Okay. So there's your ellipse. Next, we go into tangent arcs. So let's say we had some our corners here. We want to make a tangent arc on there, and we would do this right here. We could pull this tangent arc into here. Okay. Arc as a center point. I'd more likely use this one here. That way you can do stuff like that, or let's undo those two guys. Control Z does undo. Okay, we're gonna go create that arc again. Tangent arc, or how about a 3-point arc? 3-point arc. Let's so it then creates 3 points and an arc from there. So if you want, I like to use fillets. Sketch fillet is my better option, but you can use this too if you need to. So we got tangent arc. So that's going to be tangent to something. Okay. And we got center point arc. So that creates a circle. Okay. We can go here, so it's an arc. And there's other things we can do to finalize this if it's goofy. So let's keep going to the next one. An elliptical arc. So we start there, and we kind of choose how much of that arc we want to create, and it does that. Okay, and then we go to conic. So conic would be, there you go, and you kind of just pull that edge right there. Some different shapes for sure. Okay, and then if we want to get it, we escape conic by right clicking and escape that conic. Okay. Now let's say if we did want to finalize this circle and we didn't want to use a circle guy to do it anymore, we could just go to this thing right over here called extend. So these are really common and good to use features. Trim and extend. So let me show you what extend does. So extend will take this. What we do is we click on this right here, and we just kind of grab. It's gonna continue straight for some reason. But yeah, I wanted to make it curve like that. And let's say I overdid the curve. That's fine. It actually just snapped back. But I kind of wanted it to be over, but I can show you what the trim does now. So let's go to trim over here. So let's say this rectangular shape, I wanted to have like a Mickey Mouse ear on it. I could simply run it over here and then it would delete these automatically. So that, and if I wanted to have this back to a intersection, then we could just extend this guy to this guy and it does the extension. So that extends it, and then if we want to do it again, we can go to this guy, click on him, and then we pull it out, and that does the extent on that. Okay, so we'll click on that to unselect it now. And let's go, we'll go over to the inscribed polygon in a second. I want to go with sketch fillet. So this is the one I most commonly use. So you click your edge first, second edge, and then you pull, and it's got a left click there to get your number in there. And then we'll put a number in there. So let's put a 4 or something in there. And you can see that radius right there just was created. Okay. So next we want to go with inscribed polygon. So inscribed. So it's making basically a hex nut on top of the hex nut here. And we can choose if we want to, let's say it's 5 millimeters. Okay, it looks like it's going with 9 times. So let me put a dimension on this on the inner edge right there. Let's go to 10. We'll go 10. So 9. Let's see if we can change that. 8. Yeah. Okay. So very powerful software. A 5-headed hexagon, and we should be able to rotate this. Let me click on it once, and should be. I'm going to exit out of that. Okay. Should be able to grab it. Yeah, we can move it around. So move it, especially like that. Click on the center point and you can move it, but we should be able to rotate it too. It's probably a little harder to rotate, but if I wanted to rotate it and kind of, I know what the angle is, so I'd have like a line, a straight up and down line here. Okay, and then right click, escape that line, and then I could take a dimension off of that. So dimension off of this to here, and we could say there to there. Okay, and then that's a 0. So that's starting your hexagon on a nice, flat surface. We know it's perfectly flat. Okay, so next we're going to go another one here, and then we got subscribed polygon. So that kind of same thing pretty much. I mean, we can change to different types of polygons. So we got 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, that's pretty neat. So we can go 4-sided polygon, and yeah, neat little features. Now we have a spline. Now I don't use spline very often, but spline is, let's say you got some weird shape you want to make, and you kind of just follow it. Okay, and when you're done, confirm, and you confirm it, and then you can like tweak a little bit here and pull a little bit here. So this right here will allow you to kind of twist it and play with it a little bit. And we could make some weird 3D things with it. Let's continue on with this. Let's see if I can continue with this and keep going with my. Okay, I'll just click on spline again, and I will connect this spline to that spline and confirm spline. So now we have a big thing, a Pac-Man, let's say. Okay, and I wonder, let's see, insert spline point. So if I wanted to add a point, I could add an extra point there if I wanted additional control, and then I can grab that, and now I got this point. I can do stuff with that point right there. So you can make some unique stuff with that. Okay, and next we'll go over here to Bezier, and that's just more curvatures and splines and stuff like that. and then spline control point. Okay, now we got, click on that, control point. Yeah, I think it's just allowing us to control that a little bit different. Okay, next we have the text, so we can put in some text in here. I'm going to create a text box and put text, okay, and should be popping in here. Okay, hit a green. No, I'm going to go to front. Okay, there it was. So it's text, it's backwards, so I can go in here and should be able to go fix that. How do I get in back into that? Okay, let me right click on there, and I'm going to do edit text. Yeah, okay, there we go. So we're going to put text 1, put a 1 on the very bottom there, and then I don't, oh, this button right here flipped it, so that's why it looks goofy. Let's click OK. Alright, we're back to normal. Alright, so you could actually extrude these text into your model too, and that's and then we can change the sizes of them. I should be able to grab it and then kind of change the size. Let me edit text. Is there a size here? Open sans, bold, italic. Where's my text size? I want to squeeze this guy down. Hit your middle mouse button if you don't want to select something, so it gets you out of that. That's kind of neat. Okay. Most likely I can put a dimension on this and it would fix it. So here we go. So I'm going to put a 10, and then it should, yeah, it shrinks it down. So I'm going to go back to my front face here, and so there's text. Project curve. So these are a little more advanced. So let's say you had a plane and you wanted to project something onto a different plane. That's where that would come in. Okay. So let me give you an example of that, and let me clear out this this big mess though right now. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to tell it to hide the sketch. I don't want to see it. So next is now I'm going to go with another sketch on the same front plane. Okay. Now we got a new sketch. And if we don't like seeing all the other planes in there, we could actually click here and we could hide that plane, and then hide that right plane so we don't have to see them. So right click and hides them, and we could even right click and hide the front plane. So now we got our sketch here. We'll click on our front, get to our front now, and let's go with let's create a new plane from this plane. Okay, and then we're going to offset, let's say 10 millimeters or so. So let's go find your projection, but first we need a plane. So since I'm already in a sketch, I'm probably have to get out of the sketch, and I'll have to, let me pull up my front. Okay, I'm going to create a new plane right here. Okay, plane from this plane. Okay, and we're going to go up 10 millimeters. Okay, we put in 10. Okay, now we got another plane. We can hide this guy, and now we can show sketch 2. We're going to show, where's, I think it's already shown. No, we don't want to see sketch 1. We want plane 1. Okay, plane 1 and front. There we go. Okay, so let's say we created something on the front plane. Okay, so we're going to create a box on the front plane. So we're going to sketch 2. Okay, and then we're going to go to front. We're going to flatten this out. We're just going to put a rectangle here. Okay, and now if I wanted this rectangle to go up to this other plane, that's where we would use that project. So let me click on that second plane. So as you can see, it's on that first plane still. So let's go and say we want to project onto that other plane. So we'll click on this one, kind of, see it's highlighted now. It's should be, let's go edit. I want to edit plane 1, so you can see the names of the planes, plane 1. So I want to project onto that. So we go over to my sketch. I want to sketch off of plane 1 now. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We're on plane 1, and now we go to that project item, and we should be able to grab this, and then, yeah, you can see it. As I'm grabbing them, they are appearing on the other one. So that is the projection. Okay. So it's taking items from that bottom plane and putting them on front plane and put them on plane 1. Okay. Then we have intersection. So it shows, if you had 2 planes intersecting, you could then have this only show up through those two doing that. Okay, let's pull up top plane. We're gonna show right plane. Should, okay, it doesn't actually pierce through it. Spacebar sends you back to normal. Okay, and then we go with yeah, we can create a plane. Let's create a plane off this one. So we're gonna do an offset plane. All right, if we want to offset a plane on here, we would right click and offset that plane. We could do let's say 10 millimeters. So now once we do that, it now goes and interferes with that other sketch. So we can say between this one and this one, we could sketch. So let's click on this one. We're going to activate that sketch. Okay, and now we want to do actually it didn't activate it. Click on that guy. Okay, and now we can see that this sketch is not interacting now. Let's see intersection. It's not going to intersect with anything. Okay, it intersected with that line right there. I think that's what it's showing us. Okay, let's click on a sketch. Let's create a sketch here. I'm going to project onto this plane. Okay, double clicked and I highlighted that, and now I want to project onto that plane, so I will sketch on this plane. Okay, and then I will create a rectangle here to here. Okay, and now if I want to do an intersection, let's say we want to intersect this with this. Okay, it shows us what intersects between those two. So not widely used, but you know, can be used. So let's clear this stuff out, hide this stuff again. We're going to go back to, there we go, just our original 3 planes. Okay, we're going to go to our top view back. Okay, and we can click and show these guys or hide those guys, just the top view. Okay, now we have after, let's try it. Let's see what else we got. Sketch to show what this fillet does. Trim, we'll do a little bit more of this. So we're going to create some basic shapes. So we get a square, then we get another square going within there, and maybe another. Okay, and then so now we got 3 squares, but we only want what's inside the middle of this guy. So to get there, we will do this trim function right here. So trim, or just hit M, and then we can just slide over top of these, and they just automatically disappear as we're doing this. So you can see that's nice, one solid piece now. And if we wanted to add some fillets to this, or let's say, oh, we wanted to extend, we could go this edge to this edge, and then, or we could go here to here. Okay, we gotta hit spacebar, escape, get out of that. So if I want to keep going, extend. If I want to extend this to here, that's as simple as that. Now, if I don't like that, I can first I click off of it, and I'll hit Control Z to undo, or I can hit the back right here. So that would take me back. So it shows me this is blue, which is not constrained, and black is constrained. Okay. Let's show you different things. Let's see. All right, it's not going to let me grab, and it says this is parallel, so it's parallel to the other side. So if I want to change it, let's say I was just using lines, and this line, and right click and escape that line, and if I click a line again, and line, let's say L for quick keys if we want. Okay, so if we want quick keys, okay, and if you do a certain shape, it will start to create round. Okay, but if you go straight up, it's going to create that like that. So let's say we created this shape right here. We did some trims on this. Okay, we're going to trim this, and we're like, oh no, we wanted this horizontal, and this one horizontal, and that one perfectly vertical. So that's when we click on our lines. Oh, I'm still it must be in delete or something. So we should be able to click on that guy, and hit horizontal, and it will flatten it for you. And if we want this guy to be vertical, we do that. Okay, so let's undo, and we could also do perpendicularity. So if this one, if we use this one, and this one should be 90, so it's going to fix one of those edges. If we want that one to be flat, then we would click on this guy. Let's hit out of that, and we're going to click on that edge, and we're going to hit this button right here. It's going to flatten that for us. Okay. If we have a circle and we want to put that circle tangent, we would do that. So let's see, we have a circle here, okay, and if we want to make that circle tangent to this, so that means touching, so we click on this tangent right here, circle there, and it made it tangent. Now it's not controlled entirely, it still is allowed to move, but we can put a dimension on there to constrain it to this line, that point right there. Okay, so then we have, if we want to make things equal, let's say we want this line and this line to be equal in size, so we'd hit that equal, and then it would lengthen or unlengthen them. So let me undo that, and let's actually go with this one and this one being equal distance. So this one, let's try and see what it does. Alright, so it made that one equal to that one. Okay, so that's equals, and then we got parallel. So we have two lines just out in the middle of space. Okay, escape line, hit L. Let's go, we're not parallel now, and then I'll hit L to undo. So if I want, whichever one I want to be the first one, parallel, I would choose that one, and you see that one snapped to it, so now it's parallel. Okay, and now we could do coincident, so this one could be coincident to this one, so it's snapped right down to it, and these are still parallel. Okay, let's undo that, and let's do midpoint, normal shift. Coincident, so they're both sitting on each other. It's sitting on that, so this would interfere with that. Okay. Undo. Okay, so that is some of the functions with these are the constraints. If we wanted a mirror, so to do this, we will need to create a new line, and so right click and escape that line. So if I want this line and this line to be symmetric, what I do is I choose on symmetric, choose this point, and then the line in between, and then it shifts it automatically down. So now if I undo this, I should be able to grab this point, shift it up, and you see that point moves just like that. Okay. If we want something to where it won't move, we can hit this fixed point right here. And then now we have just locked that in. So basically we just told this that it should be constrained and will not move from here. So you've seen it turn black. So I want to undo that. I want it to float around and be okay to float. Okay. Okay, now we can start showing some dimensions, so we can control these a little better. We can control widths. So if we want that 7 millimeters, and if you want it to be controlled right now, I can move these around, so it will allow me to move that. But if I have dimensions on it, it will turn black and it will be constrained and controlled at that point. So if I wanted from here to here to be 17 millimeters, and then I control one last feature, which is here to here, 14, you can see now it locks that into place, and then now we get 2 more dimensions, and then we would secure that line. So let me finish up. Let's make this a box. Okay, we'll use a couple of these features that we just learned. So this one is, we want this to be horizontal. So let me undo that guy. Let's go to horizontal. I want this to be horizontal, and then this to be horizontal too. And that actually let's put this one vertical. See, now it turned perfectly black. So everything is constrained except for one. So if we grab this edge right here, it would allow us to go up and down. So we can constrain that to here if we want. Okay, so that's 50. So that now this box we will not be able to move this box around because it's constrained. It's 100% constrained.